And here in Lagos, many residents have been affected by flooding caused by heavy rains. Several persons escaped death while buildings and properties have been destroyed. On Monday, 9 persons were rescued from a sinking building in Maryland by the National Emergency Management Agency. Zonal Coordinator for NEMA, Ibrahim Farinloye, noted that the landlord of the building has been handed over to the police for failure to contact emergency responders when the incident happened. Inioluwa Kubola has more.
This is the building that was alleged to have sunk earlier today in Lagos. But a visit by TVC News crew to the area showed otherwise. Few hours after the report of the sunk building and rescue of 9 persons broke, the owner of the building has a different story to tell.
So what we have is a backlash from the canal moving into the street. As you can see, you are here live. There's no building sinking, no collapse and all that. I think as allegedly, because I've not confirmed that any of my tenants called, they need to do for us is to dredge the canal and then we'll be fine.
Although there were no residents in sight, an eyewitness says while the building is bent, it has been standing for about 14 years with no deficiency.
Surprised, we neighbors, we are surprised because we have been here for almost 14 years now. And that building bent, though it bent, and they have been like that for 14 years now. Just like normal Lagos flooding and but this one is we have natural disaster.
With the trend of floods, many fear that the rain may cause more damage to buildings in the area. At the moment, flood has taken over roads in the area, but residents say it is due to the blockage of drainage. Now they are calling for urgent attention from the government to avoid further losses. Inioluwa Kubola, TVC News, Lagos.
Environmentalist and founder Lufasi Park, Desmond Majekodumi, joins me on the news to talk about these weather and effect of climate change. Good to have you join us.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
We have seen, so on my way to work this morning, it was raining, and I mean, I'm very sure just like everyone else, or just like me, everyone else was feeling frustrated, especially, because it's been raining for several days. And we've seen volumes of rain in a short period I would have seen for like a month. And one is wondering, what exactly is going on? And I'm sure you also followed that report we just did about sinking building, and people are saying they've been there for 14 years. And this is about the first time they're experiencing something, as severe as that.
Yeah, well, thank God for the emergency response people. They did a great job and they're able to save those lives. But the reality of the situation is that Mother Nature is not taking our nonsense anymore. And I'm talking on the big picture. We're causing too much damage to her very life support systems. The earth it's a miracle of creation. It's very harmoniously balanced. So you have normally just a certain amount of rain at a certain time, but when we're now polluting the atmosphere the way we are, we're upsetting that balance, we're hurting nature, and she's having to fight back. And one of the ways that she's reacting is giving us this heavy, heavy rain. In some places, you'll get 1 month rain falling in one day. In Pakistan now, over 1/3 of Pakistan was underwater. Thousands of people lost their lives. Millions lost their livelihoods simply because we're not looking after nature. We're thinking too much of ourselves. We're thinking too much of, okay, let me make money by doing this. Let me make money by doing that, deploying all kinds of pollutions into the atmosphere. And it's upsetting nature. And if we continue this way, God forbid that we have the kind of Pakistan flood in Lagos. So the moral of that story is we got to follow our scripture, which tells us very clearly the 2 major scriptures, the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran is there in several passages. Nurture the earth, replenish the earth, care for creation. We're custodians of creation. We got to follow the scripture diligently.
You have talked about, just because I want to say on what you just said about, nurturing nature. And you've talked about, I know this is one of the things that you talk about often when you say that we're driving ourselves into extinction. And I hear you say that a lot. And I just want to ask you what the immediate and present danger is. Because again, we've seen that building that was sinking. What is the present and immediate danger of our actions? And exactly what can we do in terms of the short term before we start talking about long term?
That's a very, very relevant question. And, you know, this information is not coming from me. It's coming from the United Nations, International Panel for Climate Change, the World Meteorological Organization. Over 95% of world scientists agree that we're pushing things too hard. We're breaking down systems. And the immediate reaction we will get is this type of heavy flooding. Even if we have the right kind of drainage in place, which, you know, some parts of Lagos, the drainage is quite effective. Other parts, it's not, because it's been taken over by buildings, and then we're destroying mangroves, which are a natural way of, you know, doing the drainage. But even if we have these things in place, if we don't really fight this climate change monster, those drainages will be overcome. And we in Nigeria, we can do the right thing by re-greening, especially places in Lagos, urban areas. You must have green centers. You must have parks all over the place. You must have loads and loads of trees. If you see pictures of places like London, you know that 1/4 of London is green space. You see trees everywhere. And the value of that real estate is very high, but they dare not cut down the trees because they have accepted what government has told them, green the place. If you keep it green, then you're not going to have so much of these problems. So the immediate effect is this kind of terrible flooding, and also awful heat waves could come as well. You know, we have to care for the creation. It is our first duty as the primary species of the earth. We're here to replenish the earth, not to destroy it. And it's one of the most logical admonitions in scripture, because the earth is our life support system. It's our children's life support system. It gives us everything that we need in the right way. So it kind of like makes sense to replenish it and to look after it. And instead, we're doing the opposite. So we're not getting the reaction. And we need to wake up, because God is not mocked. Whatsoever you sow, you shall surely reap. So it's an alarm call for us to wake up, to do the right thing. Otherwise, even the long-term reaction in an urban center like Lagos is one of the really threatened cities.
We're feeling the pinch already in Lagos. I wonder what other rural areas, because again, there is poverty issues attached to this as well, and I wish we could touch on that too. But, you know, it's always a pleasure having these conversations with you. I find them really inspiring. Thank you so much for talking to us. Environmentalist and founder, Lufasi Park, Desmond Majekodunmi.